Hi to all our explorers and welcome to Dublin Zoo. My name is Kelly and I'm a teacher in the Discovery and Learning team. Now we're going on a very special adventure today. We are going to go visit some of our close relatives. So we're going to find our Bornean orangutans and our Siamang gibbons that live in orangutan forest at Dublin Zoo. So we're going to be looking out for 4 Bornean orangutans and 2 Siamang gibbons and see what they're getting up to today. So come on, join us. Just behind me, we've already got 2 of our orangutans out to visit us and see what's going on. So we have Saibu, our male orangutan, our only male orangutan at the zoo. He's got really long shaggy hair, big cheek pads on the side of his face called phalanges. They make his calls really loud, and he also looks bigger and heavier than the females that we have here. He's joined beside him by Leonie. She's one of our female orangutans. She's 39 years of age and Saibu is 41 years of age, but they're joined by 2 other orangutans, Rena and Majur, who are a little bit younger and also a different kind or species of animal here. We've got our Siamang gibbons. They've got a black coloured body, so we're going to keep a watch out for them as well. So just to the right of Leonie, you can see that we have Kahaya kind of stretching out her arms above her head, doing a bit of yoga today. So Kahaya is 10 years old. She's our female Siamang gibbon. And just in the background, you might be able to make out the male Siamang gibbon. He's hiding in between all the vegetation and the lovely plants and flowers here today. His name is Luca. So Kahaya's just moved a little bit further away in the island. You can see that she can walk on 2 feet, so she becomes bipedal, and she sticks her really long arms up in the air because they're very, very long. Their arms in the Siamang gibbons are much longer than their legs, and that's what makes them really good climbers. They get on really, really well should they share their home or their habitat here at Dublin Zoo. Now we have something very special for them today. We have some food wrapped up in a special material called hessian. It's a very natural material, and we're going to give it to them in just a moment with our zookeeper. But while they're waiting, you can see that they're very chilled out at the moment. They're kind of resting on the ground, but they do love to climb. So they're arboreal animals. They love to live in trees. And in their home here at Dublin Zoo, there's lots of trees and also ropes for them to climb. So lots of those natural behaviour that they would show in the wild, they also do here at Dublin Zoo. Now these are all primates. So we're primates too. And they are different, so we often get asked the difference between monkeys and apes. So in here, both our orangutans and our gibbons are apes. So one way you can tell them apart is they're a bit bigger than monkeys and they don't have a tail. They're also very, very smart, just like humans are. So these are all apes, and we're going to test that smartness or intelligence by giving them some enrichment today. Some food that's wrapped up in a challenging way to see how they can get into it and use their minds and their hands and their feet to get into those tasty snacks that we have. So we are giving enrichment to our orangutans and our gibbons today, and they're wrapped up in a lovely hessian parcel, so natural material that breaks down the environment really easily. And inside we've got raisins, we've got seeds, we've got nuts, we've got some apples and some pear as well. So this is part of their really healthy diet that they're given by the zookeepers here at Dublin Zoo, and it replicates what they might have or similar amounts of fibre in the wild. So Aisling is going to throw in some of our specially made parcels for them. So it's going to be wrapped up like this, and it's going to be wrapped up, double wrapped, tied together in lots of knots, really tight knots, to make it as much of a challenge as possible. So some of them are very quick at getting into their parcels because they're so intelligent and they use those opposable thumbs to touch off their fingers, so really good grip. So we need to make it as challenging as possible and have really good enrichment for them. So Aisling has made this quite challenging, lots of tight knots, double wrapped. So we'll see if our orangutans or our gibbons can get into it and how quick they get in, how much enrichment it is for them. So Aislinn's going to place some food into our orangutan out there. That's Mazur. So she looks very curious about it. Now the idea here is that we've made this a little bit of a challenge for Mazur to get into, but she is also very clever and using her teeth and her hands to get into that parcel very quickly. It is double wrapped, so she's through the first layer. So the harder we make it, the better it is in terms of stimulating her mind and making her work hard for that food. But they are very, very intelligent, so she has got into it quite quickly. And there's lots of tasty seeds, nuts and vegetables in there as well, full of fibre. So same amount of fibre or similar to what they might get in the wild. And coming to see what's going on, we have our gibbons. So we've 2 Simon gibbons at Dublin Zoo. We've got one male gibbon called Luca and one female called Kaya. We've got parcels ready for each individual out here, so everyone gets their fair share. So we've just got a single layer on this for Kaya, so it might be easier for her to get into than for Mazur. You can see she's using those opposable thumbs as well, so she's into her apple and her pear. That was also the treat inside there in the Hessian fur. So these eat a lot of fruit and vegetables. They're mainly herbivorous or plant eaters. And Kaya looks very, very happy with her food indeed. So our zookeepers are very particular about what food and the amounts to put into all of our animals. So our zookeeper, Aisling, has given them a good treat in here today. She knows exactly what they've been fed in their diet. Food into Saibu and Rena. Aisling's just given them an extra challenge, extra enrichment. So again, Saibu and Rena are getting through those layers very, very quickly. They're into the second layer. So using that intelligence, using their minds really well to figure out that problem of how to get into it quickly and using those opposable thumbs and fingers to get a good grip and rip that Hessian open. But we have Rena coming to join. So we had Saibu and Leonie are eating their food at the moment. Rena's come to join to see what's going on. So our 2 females are at the left-hand side, Rena and Leonie, and Rena is going to get her food in just a moment. So Rena's doing a big climb up those ropes, using her feet and her hands really well with those opposable thumbs and toes. She's going to climb over to the other side, over our heads. What a fantastic view. So you can see that natural climbing behaviour, that natural arboreal behaviour that Rena, our Bornean orangutan, is showing. So there's lots of vegetation, lots of plants, lots of flowers here for the orangutans and the gibbons on their island. Very natural habitat, lots of stimulation and different smells and places to hide in. But she seems to have found her food now. There she is. So we found her. She's just at the back of the tree having her snacks. So there's pears and apples and nuts and seeds in there, just the right amount, the right quantity, and the right type of food given to her by her zookeeper Aisling today. So this proper diet keeps her nice and healthy. Our Simon gibbon, our female Simon gibbon Kaya, and also our youngest female orangutan, Mazur, sharing some of their food. So it shows you how they can share their habitat really well, or their home really well. They get along so well. Even though they're 2 different types or species of animals, they get on super well. They have a similar diet because they come from similar areas in the wild. And Mazur and Kaya, they're sharing their food at the moment, but they also love to play with each other lots. And because we have 2 different species out here, this is called a mixed species habitat. So again, you can tell the orangutans, apart from the gibbons, so the orangutans have that lovely orange coloured hair, and they're larger than our gibbons, and our gibbon just beside it has that lovely dark black colour to their coat. And Mazur, you can tell she's a little bit younger than the other orangutans. If you can see her face really closely, she looks like she's got paler colour around her eyes, and that'll get darker as she gets older in age. So another part of our exploration activities today is going to see another species or type of animal. It's also a primate, but a much smaller primate than the ones we've seen already, and it's a type of monkey. So we're going to go visit our Sulawesi crested macaques. Let's go see what the keepers have given them to eat and how they get their food as well. So we're very lucky, we're getting a view of our Sulawesi crested macaques. You can see they're lovely social animals. They love to be in a group all together and spend time with each other. And we're also lucky in our timing because our zookeepers, Alan and Anthony, have just put in some food for them. So they've done a scatter feed for them. So we were just looking at enrichment with our orangutans and our gibbons and how we keep them stimulated and using their brains and keep them active. This is another way that they can be fed, so they are looking or foraging for their food out on the island because the keepers have scattered it all over the island. So this is similar to a behaviour they might have to do in the wild. So all of the group are looking for their food, and again, these are mainly herbivores or plant eaters. They eat a mix of fruit and vegetables, a special diet given to them by the zookeepers at Dublin Zoo. And you probably notice that they look a little bit like monkeys. And you're absolutely right. So these are monkeys. Now we said monkeys have a tail, but these have a really, really short tail that's very hard to see. So they're still primates, still related to your orangutans and gibbons, but a little bit more distantly related. So these are a type of monkey, our Sulawesi crested macaques. You can see their funny looking hairstyles, giving them their name. And you might even notice that their bottoms don't have the black colour like the rest of their bodies. Instead, they're a bright pink colour. And when the females want to have a mate and have a boyfriend and have babies, they'll get an even brighter colour pink and much more swollen to signal to the male that she wants to have a baby. They can also help them follow each other in the rainforest where it's very dark in the wild, so they can keep a track of their group and stick together. So thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you had loads of fun learning about our Borneo orangutans and our Siamang gibbons and watching them get some of their enrichment and opening it up as quickly as they could to get it into their tasty food inside. We hope to see you again in the future, and we hope you had lots of fun.